Good morning, all. So, in the last class, we started off with the discussion of frequency response of the MOSFET common source amplifier. Okay, so we shown the three frequency bands on which the amplifier works: the low frequency band, mid band, and the high frequency band. Okay, and now we are able to derive the high frequency, that is FH. We have to derive. So, for that, we will take the same common source amplifier which we have used in previous analysis, and for that we'll replace it by now high frequency model instead of just hybrid 5 model which we have seen with GM, VGS and R naught. Along with, we'll consider now the gate to source and gate to drain capacitances, MOSFET internal capacitances, through which we derived a high frequency MOSFET model, right? So that high frequency MOSFET model, we have 1 2 3 the ABC circuits we have seen. So in that, the C circuits I will see. So C circuit means it will have only two. Finally, it reduced to only two capacitances, that is CGS and CGD. Okay, so that we'll use to find out the analysis of this. Okay, to determine the gain or the transfer function. So all these things we have discussed previous class. So just I am revising it. Okay, so we have replaced the MOSFET with its high frequency model. So this is the high frequency model. Okay, we have replaced, and these are the things which are there in the common source amplifier circuit. Okay, and then the output, we have three resistances in parallel that we denote it as RL dash. Okay, and similarly input side we have replaced it by a Thevenin's equivalent circuit. So that is VTH and RTH we have done. So RTH is nothing but R signal dash name I have given. Okay, so that we have done in the last class. Okay, so just quickly I will recall, and from where I have stopped I will continue. So that is what this next circuit. So here we have made it into single resistance RL dash now, and here I have applied the VTH and RTH. So RTH instead R signal dash I have written, which is nothing but R signal and RG are in parallel, and this is the Thevenin's equivalent voltage given as RG by RG plus R signal into V signal. Okay, and remaining things were there. For next thing, we have taken this analysis XX dash terminal we have considered, and we have considered the capacitor. Okay, CGD we try to break away. Okay, so this output to input we try to split it. Okay, so how it is affecting output and input, accordingly we will replace it by an equivalent capacitance. So that we try to do. So before that, some of the expressions and all we have written that. So till here we have seen, right? V naught is equal to, so GM RL dash VGS. Okay, so here VGS is input voltage, that's why V naught by VGS will become voltage gain AV. Okay, and GM RL dash is the voltage gain, and RL dash is already shown. Okay, that is written over here. Okay, so then to derive the further thing, IGD current we try to calculate. Okay, so this also I told you how we got this. It is again Ohm's law. Okay, voltage by impedance. So voltage is VGS minus V naught because it is present between input and output, right? And this is 1 by CS. Okay, so that becomes SC comes in the numerator, SCGD. Then V naught we have substituted this equation 5, and because of that we got this expression SCGD 1 plus GMRL dash into VGS. Okay, so we'll be discussing regarding these parameters and all later. So remember this. Okay, so till here we have completed in the previous class. Okay, so now we'll continue this derivation to get the FH. Okay, so now the left hand side, okay, of the circuit shown in figure earlier, okay, at XX dash knows of the existence of CGD only through the current IGD. Okay, so because of that, so its existence is only identified by that current we have derived just now. Therefore we can replace CGD, that is the gate to drain capacitance, by an equivalent capacitance, okay, named it as CEQ, okay, between the gate and ground. So what I will do is I will break that CGD between gate to drain, and I will place that between gate and ground, and I call that as a equivalent capacitance. Okay, by using this equation. Okay, and as long as C equivalent draws a current equal to IGD, so current is same for the C equivalent, so that is given as the C equivalent into VGS. Okay, so that equivalent capacitance, what is the voltage across that in the circuit? So we will just show you the circuit back. Just a minute. Okay. So what I'm going to do is the CGD capacitance is existent due to current. So this I will split here and I will put it to the ground. Okay, this capacitor I will put it to the ground, and because of that, what will happen? So this capacitance will be placed here. So whatever voltage across this capacitance, because in the parallel case voltage is same, we have studied, right, basic things. So that's why the same VGS will holds good for this. And how we represent the capacitance in Laplace? It is 1 by SC, right? So that's why it is S into C equivalent. Okay, so 1 by SC equivalent is nothing but S into C equivalent will come. So that only I have written over there. This part of notes I have not given, I will give it today. Okay, so don't worry. Okay, so that is what we have at the left hand side, SC equivalent into VGS. I am going to replace that CGD by an equivalent capacitance. So its voltage is same and S is there. And along with what we have got now is the SCGD, that is the current, gate to drain current, SCGD 1 plus GMRL dash into VGS. The current through that equivalent capacitance is equal to this one. Okay, so that's why here S term cancel out. Okay, and VGS cancel out because voltage is same across that, so it will cancel out. So what is remaining here is only capacitance. That is what our expression for C equivalent. So now C equivalent value becomes CGD, gate to drain capacitance, into this multiplier. What is that? 1 plus GM RL dash. So this is the expression for C equivalent. So using this, we will replace the circuit by now this C equivalent. Okay, so the third set of circuit we are going to see in this category. So we are reducing the circuit for our analysis. Parallelly, we are writing its equivalent expression also. Okay, so as we have done in theorems and all, we are writing the complex circuit into a single equivalent voltage and a resistance. That is what Thevenin's theorem. No, same way, some analysis we are going to reduce the network so that we can find finally the FH frequency. Okay, so now we got this circuit. So this was the complete circuit was there, here connection was there. So now this is removed, okay, and replace it by a equivalent capacitance of value written over here, C equivalent CGD into 1 plus GM RL dash. Okay, because of this IGD current. And here you had the remaining circuit as it is, what we had earlier. Okay, so this is our signal dash and now CGS and C equivalent. Now these two equivalents are in parallel, so that I call it as a new capacitance value called as C in. Okay, that is input capacitance I will call. Let it be like that. Okay, and output side no changes. GM VGS RL dash is there. So V naught equal to GM RL dash VGS. That is the value. So now the interesting thing here is we have, so whatever we have done analysis, no, we can do it in many ways. Okay, and what I have done it is in a very simple form of the analysis. So what is that form is? So we recognize the circuit of figure B as a single time constant circuit of the low pass type. You can Google it. What is single time constant circuit? Okay, so that is nothing but, so first I will tell you this. Okay, so it's not required, but you should know what is single time constant circuit. Okay, so time constant is normally given as resistance into capacitance. So since we are reducing this circuit into a single resistance and a capacitance, that's why it's called as single time constant circuit, and it is also of the low pass type. Okay, I will just explain you that and I will come back to this circuit. So this is the single time constant definition. So single time constant circuits are those circuits that are composed of, okay, already they are with, or if it is a complex circuit is there, you can reduce it to what? One reactive component. What is the reactive component in RLC? Inductor and capacitor, right? So any one, inductance or capacitance and resistance, and one resistance. If you have this combination, we call that as a single time constant circuits. Okay, and their set of derivations are there. Okay, that is not there for your syllabus. We will directly refer the single time constant circuits equivalent function. Okay, transfer function will refer. An STC circuit formed of an inductance L and a resistance R has a time constant. Okay, so single time constant circuit we told. In that, if we have an inductance and one reactance, one inductance and one resistance, then its time constant is given as L by R. Okay, and if the time constant tau of an STC circuit composed of a single capacitance and a single resistance R is given as tau equal to CR. So now what I'm going to discuss is of type second one, that is we have a single capacitance and resistance. So what we have done, so see once again the definition: single time constant circuits are those circuits that are composed of or can be reduced to one reactive component and one resistance. Okay, so what we have done now, common source amplifier circuit, we replace the MOSFET by a high frequency model, right? And then we try to reduce it, right? We reduce it and we brought it in a form so that you should have a single capacitance. What is my single capacitance value now? C in. Okay, it is reduced. Okay, so how you find the parallel capacitance equivalence? Just we'll add those, right? C equivalent plus CGS, that is your C in. So that is the single capacitance. And single resistance also we have made R signal dash, which is nothing but R signal parallel to RG, right? So this is a RC combination now. Okay, or its time constant is now tau equal to R into C. In this case it is R signal dash into C in. Okay, so that's why this circuit is told in this form. So it may not be in this way, so there are many other ways are there to do the analysis. Okay, so this is one of the easiest form we can find out the high frequency FH. We are going to derive that. That's why this STC form of the circuit we have considered, because it is easy, okay, compared to others. Okay, others you don't have the comparison. That's why it is the syllabus is set like that. Okay, so you have to study the easiest one. So next we will go further. So this is about the STC. We have reduced the circuit to a STC form. Now directly we'll refer the output voltage of a STC circuit, how it looks like. Okay, now the output voltage VGS of the STC circuit is expressed in the form. Okay, so VGS nothing but what? So we have a Thevenin's equivalent voltage there, RG by RG plus R signal into V signal. Then you have a resistor RG dash, and then you have a capacitance C in, right? So now this will be replaced. So in this circuit you have the voltage same VGS, right? So that voltage nothing but the at the output of the common source amplifier, at the output of the input circuit, the voltage is VGS. Okay, that VGS is given as this voltage already you have there, Thevenin's equivalent voltage RG by RG plus R signal into V signal into this factor. So this factor comes from the single time constant form. Okay, it is there the table. Okay, so from there directly we have referred this. Okay, you have to remember this. Okay, so this is the STC circuit form where it is including your frequency. Okay, so this is given by 1 divided by 1 plus S by omega naught. Okay, so even this part of the thing we will learn it in control system today's class. Okay, that is first order systems. Okay, so this is in the form first order system here. So this is given by 1 by 1 plus tau s. Okay, so this is nothing but tau s. This is called as first order transfer function. Okay, so this tau is nothing but what? Time constant. And how time and frequency are related? Inversely proportional. You know this basic relation, right? So period T is equal to 1 by F, right? So you know this basic relation. Time is equal to 1 by frequency. The same thing it is used in this expression. So this tau is replaced by 1 by omega naught. It is in angular frequency written. So that's why S by omega naught. Okay, so that is nothing but 1 by tau. Okay, so omega naught is nothing but 1 by tau, or 1 tau is nothing but 1 by omega naught. Okay, so this you need to remember here. This is your equation 7 now. So from now onwards our derivation becomes easy. So now we'll refer this equation 7. So we'll list out the terms which we have used here, where W naught is the corner frequency. W naught is called as the corner frequency or the break frequency of the STC circuit, single time constant circuit. Okay, we have reduced the common source amplifier circuit into a single time constant circuit. That's why we are directly referring its values. Okay, so what is omega naught here, which is nothing but 1 by tau. Okay, I have not written that. Again, one more term, no, simply it is nothing but time constant. What is the time constant given as? Capacitor into resistor is one of the time constants. So capacitor value here is C in and resistor value is R signal dash. Okay, so that's what written over here. C in is equal to CGS plus C equivalent from the diagram. So C equivalent plus CGS because they are in parallel. Okay, so capacitors are parallel, just added together. Okay, so what is Cn? So Cn value is, so substituting C equivalent value now, CGD plus CGD into 1 plus GM RL dash. So make it as equation number 9. Okay, and then R signal dash is R signal parallel to RG. You can calculate R signal into RG by R signal plus RG. Okay, so that is equation number 10. So these are some of the things which we have referred in the equation number 7. So now we'll do the what we'll do, we'll combine equations to get the FH. Combining equations 5 and 7 results in the following expression for the high frequency gain of the CS amplifier. Okay, so just I will show you what is equation 5 and 7. So this was your equation 5. What is V naught equal to minus GM RL dash into VGS. And we in equation 7 what we have done, we have calculated the VGS value by bringing the circuit into a single time constant form, and that I will substitute equation 7. Okay, whatever this VGS value is there, we will substitute in that. So that's what shown here. So V naught equal to equation 5 was minus GM RL dash into VGS was there. So in VGS place I have substituted equation 7, RG by RG plus R signal into V signal, 1 by 1 plus S by omega naught. Okay, so now what I will do, I am finding overall voltage gain. So that's why I will take this V signal into denominator of this V naught. So that's why V naught by V signal. Okay, and then minus sign, this term I will write first, RG by RG plus R signal, and then I will write the GM RL dash term, and then I will write this term 1 by 1 plus S by omega naught, and call this as equation number 11. So now we got, because we need to find the frequency band. What is frequency band? We have shown yesterday. It is nothing but the graph of overall voltage gain to the frequency, right? Log frequency. Okay, so that's what we are trying to derive. So we got now V naught by V signal, which is nothing but my GV, overall voltage gain. So which can be expressed in the form. So the same thing we can compress it in a form, V naught by V signal equal to AM divided by 1 plus S omega H. So this we have not touched. So this is there as it is. Just omega naught I have replaced by now omega H. Okay. Whereas this complete term, you know, from equation 1, very first we have taken the equation, right? So this term is nothing but AM, mid band gain we have expressed, right? So just I will show you equation 1, then you will get this idea. Equation 1 was like this, minus RG by RG plus R signal into GM into what you had, R naught parallel to RL parallel to RD. So that we replace by now RL dash. That's why this complete term is called as now AM. Okay, so if you have written down their notes yesterday's, so you will be having that equation number 1. Okay, I will show you the equation number 1. The first, see here. Okay, M is given as V naught by V signal minus RG by RG plus R signal into GM R naught parallel to RD parallel to RL. Every time we should not write this, no, that's why what we have made this parallel term, I have called it as RL dash. Clear? So that only I have substituted in this equation. So even in calculation, if you want to find AM means you have to refer that equation only. That term only you have to write, but it is compressed form now. This complete I have substituted as AM, mid-band gain, divided by 1 plus S by omega H. So this is my equation number 12. So last one step we left out to get the frequency. So where the mid-band gain AM is given by equation 1 and WH is the upper 3 dB frequency. That's what we are going to derive, right? WH. So that WH equal to W naught is given by what expression? 1 by C in R signal dash. So the previous equation 12 was overall voltage gain. Okay, so that only if you express 20 log, it will be in dB. Okay, So it is the expression. So this is given by time constant Cin into R signal dash. So now what is WH? Angular frequency. If you convert that into frequency, 2 pi FH, right? Or FH is given as WH by 2 pi. So that's why your expression for FH will come as 1 by 2 pi Cin into R signal dash. So combining this in here. So this is your expression, a very important derivation. Okay. So the higher cutoff frequency. Yesterday I shown you the gain, 3 frequency bands. Okay. I have shown you, and then I have taken the discussion of this high frequency. Okay. The FH. This is what I have discussed, and its theoretical derivation. Okay. So what is its value? This. So practically also we'll do it in AC lab. Probably this week, next week we will start. Okay. So the demo part of the analog circuits lab experiments we will try to show you. Then we will understand practically how we derived this frequency band also. Okay. We'll see how it will be possible. Okay. So this is the final derivation expression. Okay. So we thus see that the high frequency response will be that of a low pass STC network with a 3 dB frequency FH determined by the time constant C in R signal dash. Okay. So this is a single time constant network we have referred, and we have brought that circuit into that form and got it. Okay. So this FH derivation can be done in many other ways also. Okay. So if you refer the other books, you will get different things. Okay. So which is there in your syllabus, that only have done. So this is the easiest method. Okay. What they say. Okay. Now we'll see the some of the observations, what we do so far, what we have discussed. Its observation we'll make. So this is the response, high frequency response we call. Okay. So not shown completely, only the FH part. Okay. So this shows like that. So graph will be ending here. So if you draw it as a straight line, it looks like this. It's like a triangle. Okay. And this edge is called as the, it is going to cut at the 3 dB cutoff frequency, and where it is touching at the x-axis, that we call it as the FH. Okay. In practical derivations, what we do, we will be measuring the V signal we'll apply, and we will note down the V0 for different frequencies. Okay. Starting from 1 Hertz to 1 megahertz, we will note down, and then we'll draw it on a semi-log graph sheet. So your graph sheet looks like this. And then we'll take a 3 dB difference, and we'll identify the FL and FH, and we'll write the FH, identify the FH. So whatever you substitute theoretically, okay. So you have done last time the design part of the some circuits, right? So in ED lab, okay. So that should match your practical value. Okay. Same way, practical way how we do is this way. Okay. So we'll draw the semi-log graph sheet. From that we'll determine the FH. Even FL also will calculate, take the difference. It is called as the bandwidth. Okay. So that's what about. So this is the frequency response plot, which is that of a low pass single time constant circuit. And this shows a sketch of the magnitude of the high frequency gain, because we are discussing the high frequency response now. Okay. Similarly, we have low frequency response also, where we try to derive the expression for FL. Okay. So the two sets of derivations we have. So today I will focus on high frequency response. Okay. So it is a graph of V0 by V signal in dB to the frequency in logarithmic scale. Okay. So there are number of observations are made, so that we'll try to list out. Okay. First one, the upper 3 dB frequency is determined by the interaction of R signal dash and Cin. So this is what we have observed now, right? Time constant R signal dash into Cin, and they are given by these expressions. Since the bias resistance Rg, so Rg is normally in mega ohms, right? It will be very large compared to the value of R signal. Okay. So Rg is usually very large, and it can be neglected. Okay. So it can be neglected, and resulting in R signal dash is equal to R signal. So if you are doing the series of resistance, then Rg will be considered, R signal will be neglected. But since it is in parallel case, what happens? It will come in denominator, right? So that's why 1 by Rg will come. So larger value means it will be having less impact. Okay, in the calculation. That's why Rg signal dash is approximately equal to R signal, we'll call the resistance of the signal source. Okay, and from that discussion, it follows that a large value of R signal will cause FH to be lowered. So if you take large signal, R signal value, then it will reduce the high frequency response. For example, it is coming at now 500 kilohertz is FH. It may reduce to 450, 430 like that. Okay, by taking a by varying the value of R signal, you can lower the value of FH. That is what the observation. Okay. So these are all things you can verify in the lab itself. Okay, so that's why this subject is along with lab, it is there. Okay, so just studying theory and derivations, you may not get more interested in this subject. So we'll start the lab part of. So I was waiting for this frequency response part. Okay, so once it is done, it is easy to make out that part. Okay, because the first experiment is there based on amplifier frequency response. Okay. The total input capacitance, second observation, is usually dominated by C equivalent. Okay, Cin is calculated by two resistance, one is CGS and C equivalent, and here also the domination is by C equivalent. Okay, so which in turn is made large by the multiplication effect the CGD undergoes. So what is the multiplication factor CGD undergoes? 1 plus GMRL dash, right? Because of that, so the C equivalent is taking the domination. Okay. So thus, although CGD is usually small, that's what while discussing internal capacitances we told, right? Even we can remove the CGD, which is very small, but it will play a major role in high frequency response we told, right? So that point I am trying to prove it here. Okay. So thus, although CGD is usually a very small capacitance, its effect on the amplifier frequency response can be very significant as a result of its multiplication by the factor 1 plus GM RL dash. That's what there in the C equivalent expression, right? CGD into 1 plus GM RL dash, right? So that's why this is called as the multiplication effect. Because of that, the CGD is playing a major role in. So if CGD is neglected, so then what is C equivalent? 0, right? Only CGS was the dominant then. Okay, so that's why CGD is considered. So which is approximately equal to the mid-band gain of the amplifier. So this effect is equivalent to mid-band gain of the amplifier. Okay, that is the effect of C equivalent. Okay. The third observation, it continues through the CGD multiplication effect. The multiplication effect that CGD undergoes. Okay. So multiplication effect that the gate to drain capacitor undergoes comes about because it is connected between the two nodes. Okay, and its whose voltages are related by a large negative gain. What is its gain? V naught GM into RL dash, right? That is the gain of V naught by VI. If you take gain is GM RL dash, right? Because of that, so it undergoes that multiplication effect, and this effect we call it as Miller effect. Okay, so the term is Miller effect, and the 1 plus GM RL dash term we call it as Miller multiplier. Okay, so this term we call it as the Miller multiplier, and it is the Miller effect that causes the CS amplifier to have a large total input capacitance Cin and hence a low FH. Okay, so that is the reason for low FH because of this Cin. This is the third observation. Okay. Another two observations. To extend the high frequency response of a MOSFET amplifier, we have to find configurations in which the Miller effect is absent or at least reduced. So when an engineer, he wants to design the common source amplifier, so his focus on is to reduce the Miller effect. Okay, so you have to find such configuration. That's what research is about. Okay, if I use this in this combination, how much Miller effect, how much combination in this configuration, like that in industry, that is how the design will come. Okay, so that's how you will see that's effect in your different mobile phones, right? So one mobile phone is efficient, one is, so all these small things will affect there in the larger parameters. Okay, the above analysis resulting in an STC or a single pole response is a simplified one. That's what I mentioned from beginning. So it is a simplified one. Specifically, it is based on neglecting IGD relative to GM VGS. Okay, an assumption that applies well at frequencies not too much higher than FH. Okay, so this is about the 5 observations we are made from this high frequency response. So now we'll have a problem. Quickly, I will go through this. Okay, read out the question straight away. Okay, so values are given. Okay, just you have to find out in the expression, and you have to find out. Find the midband gain AM and the upper 3 dB frequency FH. These two you know we have derived now. So these two you have to calculate. Fed with a signal source having an internal resistance R signal equal to 100 kilo ohm. R signal value is given and the amplifier is RG equal to 4.7 mega ohm given. RD equal to RL is given 15 kilo ohm. GM value is given 1 milliampere volt is given. R0 is given 150 kilo ohm and CGS is given 1 picofarad and CGD is given 0.4 picofarad. Okay, so you should know all the expressions now to find out the AM and FH. For finding AM, so you require the GM into RL dash, right? So first you need to calculate RL dash, which is nothing but R0 parallel to RD parallel to RL. That you multiply with GM, you will get GM RL dash. Then you have to take RG by RG plus R signal. Okay, you will get the AM. Okay, and then you have to find out the C in and R signal dash. So you will get the time constant. So that you substitute in FH, so you'll get the FH. Okay, we'll see that. Okay, just quickly I will show you within the time. So AM is equal to minus RG by RG plus R signal GM into RL. This is the formula. Okay, so just now I shown you, right, for AM. So R0 parallel to RD parallel to RL you have to calculate. So R0 is 150 kilo. Everything is in kilo ohm. That's why I have not considered 10 to the power 3. Okay, 15 kilo ohm and this is 15 kilo ohm. So what is its equivalent? 1 divided by 1 by 150 plus 1 by 115 plus 1 by 15. So use the calculator and check you are getting this value or not. Okay, so it is all values are in kilo. That's why finally you have to keep it in kilo ohm. Okay, RL dash is equal to 7.14 kilo ohm. So then GM into RL dash factor, you have to find out this, no? So 1 milli into 7.14 kilo. So this kilo and milli get cancelled out. So 1 into 7.14 is 7.14 volt per volt. So that's what you will get for GM RL dash. Okay. So next you have to substitute that in AM formula, these values. Okay, 7.14 kilo ohm and 7.14 volt along with this one. Okay, see here, AM minus 4.7 mega divided by 4.7 plus, it is 100 kilo ohm was given, right? The R signal value 100 kilo ohm converted into mega ohm means 0.1, right? That's why 0.1 in this, because this is in mega ohm, no? That's why I have considered that into 7.14. So we'll give you 7 volt per volt. So both are in mega, this is why mega cancel out, and 7.14 is having the unit volt per volt. That's why it will come volt per volt. Okay, so this is the AM 7 minus 7 volt per volt. You have to check this with calculator. Okay, I will be sending the notes after this session, so you write down. While writing that, you use the calculator and find out is it coming correct or not. Okay, so next set AM we calculated, first one. Now similarly you have to find out the FH. Okay, to find out the FH we require the C in and RG dash, R signal dash, right? For that first we have to calculate C equivalent. So what is that C equivalent? Is about 1 plus GM RL dash into CGD. So just you have to substitute 1 plus GM RL dash we have calculated, it is 7.14, CGD is 0.4 picofarad. Okay, so that you substitute, you will get 3.26. It is in pico, that's why we will write 3.826 picofarad is C equivalent. So now this value will add it with the CGS value, that becomes your C in, right? So both are in parallel. Parallel means we are getting added. So the total input capacitance C in can be now obtained as CGS plus C equivalent. So CGS was given in the problem 1 picofarad, and this is calculated now 3.26. So together it will come 4.26 picofarad. Okay, so this is the answer for C in. So first part of the FH we have calculated. So similarly you can calculate this R signal parallel to RG as R signal dash, but I have calculated in the formula itself. Okay, so this you can do R signal into RG by R signal plus RG. By that you can calculate and keep the answers like this. Okay, so since it is book same way scaled, I have continued that. Okay, so now the formula for FH is 1 by 2 C in R signal parallel to RG. The last equation we have derived, right? So 1 by 2 C in is 4.26 picofarad. That's why 10 to the power minus 12 I have written. And here it is 0.1 parallel to 4.7, because R signal 100 kilo ohm converted in mega is 0.1 parallel to 4.7 into 10 to the power 6 mega. So now you can calculate this from calculator. What is the factor? 0.1 into 4.7 divided by 0.1 plus 4.7. So that factor you multiply with this all factor. Okay, so you'll get that answer, and 1 by that answer will give you the FH. Okay, so here 10 to the power minus 2, 10 to the power minus 6 is there. It will cancel out and it will come 10 to the power minus 6. And because of this multiplication factor, when you take it in numerator, it will come 382 kilohertz. So this is the answer. Okay, so very simple problems. Okay, even in the internal capacitance also you have seen. Okay, formula is important, and formula you have to remember and you have to substitute it. Okay, so very simple formulas, so there is no much analysis. Attention to detail we will call. Okay, so analysis problem is different. So very first part you have done that. Okay, so finding the values of resistor, capacitors, it will be analysis. Okay, this is kind attention to detail. So the details are given, you have to use the proper equations and you have to find the answers. Okay, so this is it for today. So tomorrow we will see the low frequency response.